Do you know how much editing this is going to be? I'll tell you.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Keep It in 99 with your hosts, me and Isaiah. And we got a special guest from Virginia, Isaac.
Hey, how are you guys?
And today's topic is about self-help.
Yeah, self-help. So, obviously self-help is it's a very broad topic, self-help, self-growth. Mm-hmm. So we'll just start with what do you do to, for self-growth? What are the things you do, like habits you practice?
Yeah. So, right before COVID happened, of course, my dad got me into reading self-help books. So he bought me 2 books. I remember one was 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and the other was How to Influence People and Win Friends. Those are the 2 books he got me under the self-help category, I guess. And I read those over the summer, over COVID, and I really loved them. I enjoyed them. I took notes on them, and my dad was like, every self-help book that you read or any book that you get me, that I get you, sorry, I'll pay you $20. So obviously I was like, I wanted to read them. I read them. So I read the books. I took notes. I showed him my notes. He gave me $20. Great, right? Mm-hmm. He gave me a few more books, and I really enjoyed them. And I actually started applying the things in my life. After months of reading my first few self-help books, I remembered the core concepts in those books and started applying them and realized that they're really life-changing. So I started getting my own self-help books, reading those. I started journaling recently, and that's really helped me with growth.
No, I like that. That's great. Honestly, me personally, I need to read a lot more because I don't read at all. But I know, Mena, you read.
I try to, yeah. Sometimes when I have a little bit of free time at the end of the day, I try to read.
And we actually have your book right here in front of us.
My, I think first book, shout out to my brother, he actually lended it to me.
Think and Grow Rich. Someone, how far have you gone through the book?
Real or fake answer?
Both. What's your fake answer?
Fake answer, page 200.
How many pages is it?
It's like 350.
Real answer?
Chapter 2.
Which is?
Page 20. I remember.
That's okay. Obviously, you're starting to read, so that's a good thing. But so far in these first 20 pages, what have you learned?
So it's all about right here. It says it right here. It's all about mentality and your desire. So it talks about this one guy who was very he wanted to get a job, but he didn't want to get any job. So he wanted to, Thomas Edison, right?
Yeah.
He wanted Henry Ford, my fault. Henry Ford, he wanted to, bro, I forgot. But it's Henry Ford. He wanted to, I think, be an engineer, and he did so many things to try to accomplish that goal. And I'm not sure now, but right now it's shown how much he's done to actually try to be a part of his company. And right now I'm at the part where he actually meets him and tries to talk to him. Okay. So that's how far I've gone.
I read this book and he the amount. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the great lengths that he goes to work for the guy is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All that because he wants to chase his dream, desire.
Yeah.
The book is all about, or not all of it, but a good chunk of it is about desire and doing what you want.
So Isaac, since you've been the self-help industry, not really, but not working in it, but you know of it, you're a consumer of it. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to start? What would you suggest? Where do you suggest he or she starts?
Are you saying in the general topic of self-help or self-help books specifically?
General topic.
Just self-help. Well, I would say just pick up a self-help book. If you don't like reading, maybe look into stocks or journaling, because those can also influence how you act. So self-help. But if you do like reading, or even if you don't read a lot, but you still read, pick up a self-help book because once you get through your first 2 books of self-help, it'll hit you these are the types of books I should be reading, not novels or fiction or any of that. That's garbage. I don't read any of that. Not for fun. I read these for fun, Definitely changes your life. So I pick up self-help books and I just read those for fun.
Yeah, but I got a question for you. So far, what book, like, number one that inspired you and like changed you as a person through self help? What book?
Okay. The real answer is the Bible, but I'll give you a
Okay,
better.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, but since church has been a big part of my life, and so has self-help books now. One great book that influenced me greatly is Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. You know that book?
Yeah, I was actually gonna buy it at the monastery. You remember?
Yeah,
And it
I
was
actually do,
sold
yeah.
out. But yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, so Mere Christianity was recommended to me by Abuna, and C.S. Lewis's works are complicated, but if you get through it, jot down notes, it'll make sense to you in the long run. But C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity is about what Christians believe and why they believe that. That's just a very broad idea of what the book is about, but I've learned like all aspects of Christianity through that book.
So I'm gonna ask you a question now. I'm gonna ask like, so far in your pursuit of self help. I know you do a lot of really really random things. What has been like your favorite like I guess project or enterprise that you've gone on?
Project. I think stocks. Stocks are really, they're not a big thing for me, but it's just like the not the joy, but like the happiness, because happiness is temporary. The happiness I get from seeing that I'm in the green when the whole market is crashing, that's the best part.
So impressive.
But also in the stock market, you have to have money to get money. Like you could only start with $1, but it's just gonna be 10 times harder to work your way up to 100.
Yes. But the thing is, like, everyone has to start somewhere, right? So
Yeah.
that $1
Could go
going
a
to
long way.
100, that shows the potential that you have, and you can even just take that potential and like show people who might have like more capital, more financial success. That like, listen, I took $1 to 100, so I can take your 100,000 to 10 million.
Yeah.
I can take that step because I've already done it with like like in the Bible, right? The parable of the talents, right? All of the like, if you can't be faithful over little, you can't be faithful over much. If you can't take care of little things, you will never be able to take care of big things. And I feel like God really puts that into us, that in order for like there's a step, there's a process. So in order for you to do big, you have to do small. And that it goes back to that self-help thing. Like, in order for you to change the world, you got to change yourself. In order for you to change people around you, you got to change, the person inside of you. And so that constant process of always improving yourself, making yourself 1% better every day, reaps benefits that go past just yourself, because it allows you to take more responsibility and to be entrusted with more.
Yeah. But I have a question for you.
Go for it.
How do you make yourself better every single day?
So for me personally, like one of my sayings is like making myself 1% better every day. And how I do is I focus on most of the time a very small thing, like really specific, and I try and put my effort into it to like improve on that specific thing every day. So, I mean, it can be even as simple. I remember when I started it, like one of the first things I did was to actually brush my teeth for 2 minutes. And you'll be surprised, like, what doing that will like actually do for you. Just actually like putting the effort to do something so small and so minute, it makes a big difference. It's not just like you kind of just do something we'll call us like when you
Discipline.
when you put your brain to it and you're like, listen, I'm going to do this. It goes a bit far away. And then what you do is you take that behavior and you compound it with another thing.
Yeah.
So the next day you brush your teeth for 2 minutes and
And you do something else.
like 20 push-ups. Then every day you add something to it until
You're not going to be perfect, but until you improve in those categories. I agree.
Yeah, and so that goes like obviously what you said, discipline. Discipline's very, very important in the self-help world. So I'd like to ask you, Isaac, how do you discipline yourself?
Honestly, I'm not as like specific as you, but I still like when I pray, I ask God to make myself the best version of myself for that day and improve on that the next day. So like being the best version of myself is always something I keep in the back of my mind. It's something I'll always strive for. You said discipline.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I kind of compound things like you. So I started with self-help books. And then recently I started journaling. But just because I start journaling doesn't mean I stop self-help books. So the more I add, the more discipline I need to continue the first thing I did and the second thing I did, you know? But it's hard sometimes. And I pray about it. I think that's just my main thing. I pray about it and I ask God to give me the time and the opportunity to continue striving to do better every day.
But do you have screen time on your phone?
Like the limit?
Yeah.
No. But I limit my time on social media just like without the screen time app, you know?
So that's a way of disciplining yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I just deleted TikTok, so that's a big
That's
step
good.
first.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. One that needs to do that next. Just playing with you, one though. But like I agree with what you're saying about like prayer. Prayer is so important, and I feel like a lot of people like kind of put prayer aside. I do that personally.
Yeah.
I do that. Like I'm like the last person to say that I pray every day because I don't. You know, I pray. I need to pray a lot more than I do, and I've been like, there's always there's two things in life that you never want to do, but you're never going to regret doing: going to church, going to the gym, having like spiritual time with God, and then working on yourself. Like those are two things that you're always like, oh, I'm too tired, I don't want to do it. But when you do it, you feel like a better person when you come out of those things. Like I don't want to pray sometimes, but when I do,
You feel better.
yeah, I really feel like God like listened to me, and so it's that prayer that comes with discipline, and to pray you have to be disciplined. It's like hand in hand, it's like they're kind of like very similar in a way,
Yeah. We tend to use the gym and like the hospital as a
like gym in the church.
Yeah. The gym and the church. Sorry.
ahead of yourself.
Because I was about to say they're both hospitals. They're both for healing. People go to the church to heal their spirit and their faith, and people also go to the gym to, get fit and stuff. And both of them are for broken people. So that's where that's what I think of both.
Yeah, I mean I agree 100%. I mean that's 100% true. And the thing about the church that makes it a hospital is that like you can go in there, you can like come as you are, and you can
Yeah.
sorry, you can change in any way that you want. You can like it transforms you completely. And in order to transform again, you need discipline, which goes back to the whole self-help thing. But Isaac, I would like to shift the conversation a little bit, and I'd like to get your thoughts on like what you see as the best way to help yourself when it comes to like a relationship basis, like a person on person. Like what are, if you have any like habits that you practice to maybe like help with like how you talk to people, how to present, how to like not just be a better presenter but better like talker in general. So like for example, like me and Mona talk a lot about like our podcast behavior, podcast body language, how we talk,
YouTube shorts.
if we talk, love you, Mona, how we should talk. Like we always talk about like how to improve that. So what would be like your advice like to us, like how to be better speakers?
I'm honestly still working on that. I'm not great at that at all. But the one book I read, I know I just keep going back to the books,
No,
but
The books are great.
yeah. Is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's about like, I mean, it's in the title,
I
but
think I've heard of that book actually.
Abuna was talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Monday.
Yeah. But it basically talks about like winning people, winning their minds. So like you can stay clear of arguments and like keep arguments and discussions as arguments and or as discussions and not arguments,
Yeah.
winning people. So I think that's great for relationships. But honestly, I'm still working on like my presentation skills and like talking skills and all that. I'm not great at that yet. So that's something I'm still working on.
Yeah, and I think we all struggled with that, and we still do. Like personally, like I'm up front. Like we started this podcast so I could like develop my social skills and like improve them, and also with you like conversating and like keeping up a conversation, because I'm not really good with that, but you are. So that's why I think we came together.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement, and just to further the conversation, or maybe we'll switch gears a little bit. Sorry, that was loud. Isaac, so you're going to Virginia Tech is here to study biology.
Go Hokies.
So like throughout high school, obviously Virginia Tech is a pretty. I mean, you live in Virginia, so it's a pretty good school. How, like, what would you suggest to like younger kids like mena who are like freshmen, sophomores, about like how to go about disciplining themselves through school? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So I'm just gonna start by saying my junior and half of sophomore year was online because of COVID. So I had zero discipline over that time, of course, like every other high schooler. My senior year was chill, so I really only had freshman year and like half of sophomore year. And during that time, I was just kind of getting accustomed to high school, and that's why it's hard for me to answer this question. But I'll do my best. I'll try.
Okay.
But I think my dad, again, to bring up my dad, he is studying and getting good grades was like super big for him. It's super big in like every Egyptian family to get good grades. It's crazy. But he made it a point to buy us like an unreasonable amount of flashcards. It's crazy, like index cards, right? Yeah. And he said like every single test you take or assignment, literally just an assignment if you need, write down everything that you need for the assignment or for the test on a flashcard and memorize it and like write it down 2 or 3 times because like that mind muscle connection when you write something down. So flashcards was a big thing in like disciplining myself and getting through tests and assignments in high school. Another thing was obviously reading the self-help books that I started in high school. So that obviously was a big step in discipline, as you know. But I don't think there's much more to that, to be honest.
I mean, the flashcards is interesting because I feel like the education system is moving completely away from that whole memorization. It's a lot more application, but honestly, I hate studying,
Everyone
stuff
does.
like that.
Yeah.
No, but I like don't. Like, I just really don't.
Yeah, my whole freshman year was like, just send it full.
Dude,
send.
all I do is like half the homework, and that's like I don't even do all the homework. It's terrible. But like, for what I can talk about from discipline, even though I don't really discipline myself that much, but from what I can say,
It's okay. You edit the podcast.
yeah,
That's
this
enough
one, huh?
discipline. I don't do my shorts like that.
Yeah. For me, like discipline in school is a lot. Like as I've realized now, is like study, not because you need to study, but because you are going to need to study. And so now, like it's easier to study when you know this stuff. So like learn how to, so that when it comes to stuff you don't know, you know how to study.
Another thing, just real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
I saw this on TikTok actually, which is TikTok can be used for good and bad. But, I saw something that said, change your mindset from I have to do this to I get to do this. Yeah, Andrew Tate.
Man,
I hate it.
But no, the point of that in discipline is, if we're going back to the topic of schooling, don't say, oh, I have to do this homework, right? It's you get to do this homework because you live in America and you have free education that can take you to graduate school, undergraduate school, and where you can get a job. Like that's amazing, right? People in other countries may not have that opportunity.
just like we were talking about like earlier in this retreat, like some people don't have the resources that we have, and we take all that stuff for granted, and we don't even realize it. Like you see people in schools getting Fs, while there are people like in third world countries that are praying they get to go to school.
Yeah. I mean, like I was gonna really tie that back to what you just said. Like we have such a great opportunity here, and I feel like even part of discipline is understanding the opportunity that you have and embracing it and really taking it to the next step. Really acting on it. Like God put you here for a reason. Do something with it. Don't waste it. And I feel like that mentality, like a lot of people don't get it because they don't ever experience that type of stuff, which I think is really good. Like what we did, this week with, the refugees and, when I went to Zambia, like that stuff, it really changes, like who you are. So I actually want to shift the conversation to that just because it's something that all three of us have shared this past week. So Isaac, first off, I want to know, have you gone on any other mission trips or is this your like first one?
No, this is my first one.
First one, all right. And obviously
This is
your
my
first
first
one
one.
too as well. So was there any moment that like really like touched your heart, like stuck out to you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, at first I was like, we were in the garden and I was like, what is this, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, actually getting to interact with the refugees was an amazing part of the journey, because like seeing the look on their faces and all the refugees like being so joyous and happy just to like hang out with us, you know, that touched me. And I was like, wow, like they get to hang out with us and they're this happy. Like I'd be this happy if I got a Ferrari or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go.
Yeah, for me, one thing was the soccer game that we had today. Like the whole community came out and we all played soccer. But one thing in particular, there was one kid that was like, he was telling me how he wanted to do photography, and like all his friends laughed at him, and I felt so bad. But I think that's just because they're boys, like they're gonna laugh at each other. But that was one thing that really broke my heart. But we exchanged numbers, and I said if he needed anything, like to text me. But one thing, there was a little girl that you remember.
Yeah.
We were playing with her, and she would always she would go from one person to another, and she had just so much energy and so much joy, and that really touched my heart.
Yeah, I mean, that's great for both of y'all. Like, for me personally, like, this is my second mission trip. I went to Zambia with Abuna Abraham, which if you've not seen that podcast, above Isaac's head, you'll see it. But that mission trip is, these are obviously very different mission trips. I mean, Zambia, there's nothing like it. Like, I'm not going to be 100% honest. Nothing good will compare to that. Yeah. For me, that first time, nothing will compare to it. Just the sheer joy, like what you said, like the sheer joy of just giving kids anything. Like I remember, like, I think I said this on the last podcast, but we're giving out stickers. We ran out of stickers. Yeah. We gave them the edge of the sticker paper, the sticky part of the sticker paper. Same thing. There's like these kids just won the lottery. And it's like, it's so beautiful to see that. And honestly, it makes you like think intrinsically, like, look at the opportunity I have and the opportunities I waste. And it's not supposed to make you guilty, but it's like, you know, like Abuda said today, makes you aware.
Yeah.
And for me, that's like a really big thing. And like this mission trip as well, like to know how close it is. Like I live in Marietta. This is in Clarkston. It's a 45-minute drive. 45-minute drive.
We didn't even know, like,
yeah.
From the start, we didn't know that there were refugees here.
Yeah, no clue. I knew there was refugees in Georgia, but like, just to know how close it is to you, like, it's honestly like it's crazy to think that in America there's people that live, I mean, like, you know, not much better than the people, you know, in Africa and in those countries that, you know, like people really don't have anything, you know, but. Again, you know, these people are so happy.
Yeah,
like
and they're very close to each other.
And they're very grateful,
right
very
now,
content.
I mean, personally, for me, I don't know about you guys, but like, I talk to my parents, but I'm not like super contacted with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but these kids, all they have is family, and that's all they do 24/7, all day. They're with their family, playing outside with their friends, and they're just so joyful that like, it makes us want to change as humans.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes back to the point, like, they get to do that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, there's not like words that like explain really like how impactful it is to you. Like you have to experience it. And I think we're going to end on this. It's a challenge for all the viewers.
Ooh.
Do something like some sort of volunteer stuff, not just like packing boxes and shipping them off, but like
what's it called?
Actually, what?
Christmas Child, Operation Christmas
Yeah,
Child.
not like that.
Actually, go out there.
But go out there, do it. If you have a chance at a mission trip, whether religious or not, go to it because it is life changing.
Yeah,
that's my little.
Just to add one more thing, if you need help like getting started with that and doing that, like going back to the point of discipline, obviously, just to reiterate, self-help books, journaling, and to add one more thing, I know it's like at the end, but to add one more thing, the gym.
Yeah.
If you go to the gym and you stay focused and you have a goal, you have a plan, and you meet it, your discipline will be unmatched. You know, you can attest to that.
I agree 100%. And thank you, Isaac, for being on this podcast. I know it's like super late at night. We have to be
Appreciate
up and about. We have to be awake in what?
3 hours.
3
4
hours.
hours,
So I'm sorry for that.
No, you're good.
But thank you. We really appreciate it. Hope you have a great time at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Go
And
Hokies.
Go
Go
Hokies.
Hokies.
Yes,
And that was
sir.
episode 19 of Keep It at 99. See y'all later.
Thank you.